Or this business about the knife. What, 'cause we found another one exactly like it? The old man saw him right there on the stairs. What's the difference how many seconds it was?
You just watched juror number 3, played by Lee J. Cobb, deliver the final monologue of the 1953 film 12 Angry Men. It's a speech that provides an honest, insightful look at the human psyche, and is one that the audience will not soon forget. The passion in his voice, the minute gestures and turns he makes, the ebb and flow of his speech, and the cracks in his voice when he finally breaks down.
Not guilty.
It's the details in this delivery that make it great.
Through a hole in his pocket. You can't prove it!
But what if it wasn't like this? What if he couldn't make those gestures, couldn't move around, and couldn't make the speech the same way he did? Imagine that he had to stand still, or only talk in one direction. Well, had it not been for the advancement of sound technology, that's exactly what we would have had. The development of sound recording technology didn't just make it easier to record sound. It opened up a whole new world of possibilities for women in film, as well as creative expression in film adaptations. More expression by actors, more freedom with cinematography and editing, even more genres of source material that could be adapted. How? In this video, we'll explore just that, starting with the increased liberties actors were able to take. As film transitioned from silent to sound, naturally actors had to transition as well. With sound, speech no longer had to be represented in interstitial form, and as such, new avenues for how roles could be performed opened up. Actors and actresses alike had more liberty to portray the character however they chose, at least in theory. In reality, however, early microphones prevented this. Their size, and the fact that they often had to be stationary, meant that actors had to position themselves very specifically, which is a major limitation on their performances, and made any attempt to, well, act, result in problems like this.
Oh, Pierre, you shouldn't have come. Your place was dangerous. They will surely find you out.
Thankfully, these problems were addressed with pivotal advancements such as the boom mic, which allowed actors to have dialogue any way, anywhere, and in any direction and manner imaginable. With this, actors could regain the energy and movement of silent film performances and combine it with sound, like in the screwball comedy Bringing Up Baby. In addition, women were able to demonstrate that they too were just as capable of giving powerful performances that evoked raw emotion, like this one.
String of pearls. Well, I don't own pearls. Lord knows you don't pay colors enough to afford pearls. And I work like a dog, day and night, living off of coffee from a pot none of you want to touch.
The development of advanced sound recording techniques shaped what we've come to expect of acting today, where great actors, regardless of their gender, can be expected to deliver powerful, rousing performances that audiences will remember for years to come.
Go to your windows, open them, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore. Things have got to change."
What? English, mother... Do you speak it?
Yes.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
So by this point, it's clear the effect advancements in sound technology had on the talent aspect of movies, but what about behind the scenes? There were two major non-production aspects influenced by the improvement of sound technology, which had a great impact on adaptations and women in film, these being cinematography and editing. With cinematography, the boom mic in particular opened up a world of possibilities for adaptations through the addition of movement. Without the boom mic, tracking shots would have been impossible in the early days of recording technology. Now, sound could move with the characters and dialogue could be more freely positioned. With all this said, there weren't many female cinematographers, so this development in particular didn't have too much of an effect on women in film. The development of sound technology pertaining to editing, on the other hand, had massive significance for women in film. Editing film with sound was impossible given the first attempts at recording technology. The Vitaphone was the first film sound technology to become popular as a result of its amplification possibilities, but is extremely limited in its editing capacity as it was sound on disc. Once sound on film technology started replacing the Vitaphone, sound films could be mechanically edited. Even before the sound era, mechanical editing was the primary form of editing. Lasting until the digital age, it served as one of the largest entry points for women in the film industry. As editing was considered a menial task, the job was commonly dedicated to women. Unfortunately, once the sound on film technology started to take hold, female editors, among other roles, were pushed out of the industry due to societal stereotypes. Despite this change, certain female editors stood their ground, and their success served as the leading example for women in film. There are women like 4-time Academy Award for Editing nominee Dorothy Spencer, who worked on over 70 films, and 2-time Academy Award for Editing nominee Viola Lawrence, who is credited with being the first female cutter for film who worked on ambitious films like In a Lonely Place and Pal Joey. These women, and others like them, stood strong as a testament to the capabilities of women in film.
The creation and revolution of film genres was also another product of sound technology. Genres such as drama, comedy, and horror all became popular as a result of sound. Actors had more freedom to express their emotions and thoughts. Film writers also had more freedom to be expressive in conveying their story, whether it be their own story or an adapted film like Singin in the Rain. As more and more sound technologies were being introduced, the film industry had more at their disposal, rendering more flexibility and creativity. One of the best examples of this is the musical genre. During the silent era, many films were accompanied by live orchestras that would play during the film. Smaller theaters sometimes had to acquire a pianist to play alongside the screening. However, these techniques limited the creativity that can come from these films. For example, actors were limited to only facial and bodily expressions, as seen in this clip from Cabbage Fairy. With the advent of sound technology, however, things changed. Musicals came to life with the invention of the Vitaphone in 1926. The first movie to use this technology was The Jazz Singer, and the results were revolutionary. The actors in this movie were much more expressive and could portray the personalities of their characters more effectively with audio. With this scene, for example, the audience can really feel the passion between the main character and his mother by their dialogue. Musicals even expanded to the cartoon genre with the introduction of the multi-sound system, the first being Walt Disney's Fantasia. This system changed the way sound was exhibited to the audience, allowing the producers and editors to be more creative with their editing. With each innovation, from the Vitaphone to the multi-sound system, came a new, exciting way for the producers to create and exhibit their film, as seen in the musical genre. Writers and actors alike were also able to take advantage of this luxury and express themselves creatively and really bring out the characters, the setting, and the message of the film. Through the implementation of sound technologies into the film industry, genres were not only created but revolutionized as more and more advanced technologies were being invented. From freedom in acting to the creation of different film genres, sound recording technologies have opened up a new possibility for women in the film industry along with film adaptations. Technologies allowed actors and cinematographers to be more expressive and creative in the film creation process. The next time you're watching a movie, don't take for granted the sounds of the film. Think about how we got to this point.